Welcome to the VetRise Podcast. I'm your host, Juan Perez. My goal is to make success after service accessible to every veteran in society. I believe in the power of leveraging your service, not as a label that defines you, but as a launching pad for your next chapter. What we have been doing hasn't been working, and it's on us to start changing the culture. Enjoy the episode, and thank you for your time. I want to talk about what does it mean to transition out of the military? What does it mean to leave the military? A lot of people think that it means that you are transitioning, you are going from one thing to something else, right? But the thing is, to transition means that it is a smooth, for the most part, process. It's a process, but it's not a process. In fact, it's much more of a hard reset, really. There's no steps that you follow. There's no list that they give you where you go from level 1 to level 2 to level 3 to level 4 to all of it making sense. It doesn't work that way. It's a hard reset because you're coming into a society that you've never been a part of, to be honest with you. Veterans don't come back into society. We've never been a part of society. When we joined the military, we left our best friends, our culture, everything behind. And a lot of people don't realize that. And then we go in. But the thing is that you're surrounded by a bunch of people who are also going through a culture shock. They're also going through this journey of becoming civilians into the military, getting yelled at together, getting hazed together, going through PT, getting brainwashed, being joined in to the branch that you're joining, right? So you're all going through this new culture shock together, which means that you have support, which means that you have someone that you can talk to. You have people that understand what you're going through. And there is a lot of camaraderie and misery. When you suffer together, when you go through hardships together, it brings you closer together in ways that you can't even imagine. Because you go through pain and suffering, and it does bond you, trauma bonding, right? So as you are going into the military, you are experiencing boot camp. I could tell you the names of a lot of the guys that I was in boot camp with. Why? Because we went through trauma together and we bonded. So you are going through, right? And you are bonding. Now, even though you're going to end up somewhere else after you leave boot camp and you're going to end up at your MOS school, those guys that are in MOS school with you, you are close to them whether you know it or not. Why? Well, because they went through something that you went through. And you know that. They are very familiar to you. You guys all wear the same uniform. You have the same haircuts. You speak the same language. You have the same customs and courtesies. You see what I'm saying here? You are in the same culture. It's like being part of a new country. So you've left America, per se, and now you are in the military. And things are a certain way, and you speak a certain way, and you have certain customs and certain ways of living, traditions, right? And you spend, let's just say, 4 years, for the sake of conversation here. Let's just say it's 4 years. And then you abruptly get out. What is it that you're losing? You're not just losing your sense of purpose. You're not just losing your sense of self. You're losing your best friends, your mentors, your peers, your culture. Everything that you know is just being completely stripped away from you. And you can argue that, well, it was your choice to get out. Yes, sure, we can say that. But it was a 4-year contract. There was no promise of an extension. It was a choice So when we get out, we lose all of that without even realizing that we're going to go through all of this trauma, and it's going to die. The old you that was formed in the military, the you that you started to get to know, the you that you created in the military, that person is going to die because you're going to lose your old self. You're going to lose your best friends. And it is a way of dealing with it when you are actually experiencing grief, because it is a loss, because you are in one way, shape, or form giving up everything that you know. And as you get out, as you experience this, it's going to be a grieving process. You're going to feel loss. You're going to feel that pain because you lost all of the customs and courtesies that you've been working under for the past 4 years. You've lost your best friends. You've lost your language in one way, shape, or form. You've lost who you were. You don't know who you are anymore because that person doesn't operate the same way anymore. You've lost X, Y through Z. And the problem here is that it's not replaced by anything immediately. You're coming into the society and you need to learn how to live here. So you're going through this grieving process. You're going through this process of loss. And at the same time, you're going through this process where you have to learn all these things all at once. And that makes it twice as hard because you're grieving the loss of your past and you're being thrown into this new culture where you have to learn the customs and courtesies. You have to learn how to type up a resume. You have to learn how to apply for a job, how to apply for college, how to make conversation with people, how to not use your dark humor 24/7, how to actually date, how to make friends, how to explain to your family what you went through, how to not be that salty, crazy, bitter civilian that is in the corner of the room that nobody wants to talk to. And it doesn't work for everybody. It doesn't happen like this for everybody. It's not the same for everybody. Trust me, it wasn't for me. I did all of those things the wrong way. I was that nasty, salty, bitter civilian in the back room that nobody wanted to talk to. So you're going through grief because you have experienced this huge loss of everything that you knew, your entire culture. And now you are moving back to America because you have not been in America. You visit when you're on leave, you come home for Christmas, you visit, but you're a tourist then. And now you're back, right? And now you have to learn what it means to be in this country full time. You need to learn customs and courtesies, the language, the way to talk to people, understand that people have different levels of tolerances, levels of discipline, and you join the workforce and you realize that not everybody has the same standards that you do, not even your boss. And this is the crucial moment for a lot of us because either we get angry, we get bitter, we don't make the necessary changes, or we leverage the positives from the military and we fall in love with life and we let go of that grief. The military is like leaving the past behind and finding something new in your future that you are looking forward to so much that you actually fall in love with the process. Leaving the military is like leaving your ex. You have to find that new love. You have to find that new joy, and it should be you. It should be you. But it doesn't always happen automatically, and it's not always easy. So that crucial moment where you decide, do I want to be angry? Do I want to be bitter? Or do I want to make the necessary changes that I have to make? Well, that's when you make those changes. That's when you start working out again after you've gained the 40, 50 pounds. That's when you stop drinking every night. That's when you stop smoking all the time. That's when you actually give a shit about your sleep and you go to bed on time. It's up to you. Nobody controls you. Nobody tells you what to do. It's up to you. But that crucial moment typically happens when you've realized that the honeymoon phase of you being out starts to wear off. And you realize that, oh shit, I'm out here now. I can't just go back. I don't have my buddies anymore. And As that wears off, as you pay attention, as you develop insight to what is it that you want to do with your life, you need to take that and turn it into action, decision, devotion, discipline, whatever fuck word you want to use. You need to take that moment and say to yourself, this is it. I need to do something with my life. I need to do something with my future. I need to keep writing these amazing chapters that I've been writing. The military is not the highlight of your life. It is just one chapter, and you have many more chapters to write. So start your own business, launch that podcast, write that book, get that job that you've wanted for so long and get promoted and be the owner or the manager of the company before you know it. I believe in you. And I don't say that blindly. I believe in you because I am you. You are me. I have been there. You name it, I've been there. Alcoholic, I've been there. Drinking every day, I've been there. Multiple divorces, I've been there. Suicidal ideations, I've been there. The pain that you feel is not exclusive to you. But that also means that the solution that's out there is not exclusive to anyone. It's exclusive to everyone. Everyone can get the answer. Everyone can find the solution if they look for it. The pain that you feel is temporary, and it is just happening right now because you are in a situation right now. But whatever you went through, whatever you feel is the thing that was unfair for you in your life, the thing that made life so hard for you, it should be the reason why you're going to succeed. Because you can either win or you can lose. But you can't lose if you don't stop moving. If you don't keep that momentum going, you're going to lose. And if you win after feeling like you are in the negatives, that win, it means that much more. So if you are at a point in your life right now where you've been out for a certain number of years and you're realizing that, like, I'm starting to turn bitter, my family doesn't understand me, and I keep blaming everybody and everyone besides myself for my problems, how about you start taking ownership? How about you start telling yourself that this is on me? I can do something about this. I can change my life. I can change the trajectory of where it is that I am headed and do something with my life. It's not about what people think or say about you. It's about what the hell do you think or say about yourself. And it's important to realize that maybe, yes, you lost your culture, but you can find a new. You can create a new life for yourself. You can find love. You can find joy. You can let go of the hypervigilance. You can start to realize that you don't have to go back in to find that love. Because I got news for you, man. Even if you go back in, your buddies, they're not all going to be there anymore. They've moved on to different units, or maybe they got out and they're living their beautiful lives. You can never go back to the past, ever. Because no matter what, even if you go back to your old unit, even if you go back to your old command, even if you go back in, you're not going back to the past. You're never going to find what you had. The only way that you can find what you had is by creating a situation in your life that is just as enjoyable as what you used to be when you were in, as enjoyable as it used to be. You can't chase the past. You can only move diligently and violently towards the future. Massive action plays a huge part in this. Because if you keep taking baby steps, if you keep inching forward instead of taking leaps and bounds, you're going to get baby results. You're going to get small incremental changes. You have to take massive action. You have to be so committed. You have to be so unrealistic in the process that at the end of the day, you realize that you're doing this not because you're a veteran, but because being a veteran has made you a better version of yourself. You are you. The military, the service, all of that doesn't define you. It just makes you a better version of yourself. Now, whether you're a combat veteran, Marine, soldier, airman, sailor, it is just a life. It is just a chapter of your life. It is just a part of your life. It is just a fragment, a section of your life. And it can be one of the best chapters of your life, absolutely, but it's not the only chapter of your life. Keep writing new stories, keep making new memories, keep going out there, keep making a name for yourself. Be the leader of your family. Yes, you went through a culture shock when you went in. And when you get out, it's an even harder culture shock because you have nobody around you that's going through it. That's why you have to look for other veterans that are going through it with you. Because you get out and you're all alone. And it's very lonely, which is why a lot of us, we find the first girl that gives us a little bit of attention or the first guy that gives a girl a little bit of attention and we fall in love and then we get married. And then what happens? Well, what typically does happen? Well, it leads to divorce. Veterans have a much higher divorce rate than any other. I don't know if that's true or not, but I feel like it is. So to wrap this up, the culture shock that we experience when we get out is huge, but it's not the life-ending blow that a lot of us make it out to be. You can survive it. You can definitely survive it. You can come out of it on the other side and make a better life for yourself. So when you go through the culture shock of coming into this life, make new friends, be a sponge, be a boot all over again, a cherry, whatever you want to call it, and just learn. Kill the ego. Give yourself permission to start over in one way, shape, or form, but with a lot of experience behind you. And that experience doesn't define you. It just makes you a better version of yourself. Do not chase the past. Lean into the future. Create it. Thank you for your time.
And that brings us to the end of another episode of the VetRise Podcast. If today's episode inspired you, made you think, or simply just gave you hope, I have a small favor to ask. Share it with just one veteran or someone you think could benefit from my message. Your share could light a spark for them. You don't know who you might save. For more insights and to join this mission, follow my socials at JP the Veteran Coach and explore how we can rise together. Thank you for joining us, for being part of this journey, and for believing in the power of rising together as veterans. Until next time, keep pushing forward, keep rising, and never forget we are stronger together. My name is Juan Perez, and thank you for your time.